Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Yes, this is a last minute stream. No, today is not regular streams. And I just had some random thoughts, random stream of consciousness here. Um, a bunch of things I've been thinking about. Yeah, y'all haven't heard from Mr. Z in a couple days because Mr. Z is enjoying his mini staycation with Miss Z, and we're just chilling out. Well, it pretty much ended for her today, but I still have today. So yeah, took a few days off, so I just want to chill out and enjoy life. No work, no anything. So um, had an obligation. One of my super close friends is expecting. Congratulations to him. So went to a baby shower, and that means Z out of the super close friend circle. Z is. Am I the last one? I think it's two of us. Two of us are left that don't have any kids. Remember, Mr. Z is like slowly approaching 40. So yeah, that's the world we live in now, everyone. That's the world we live in now. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So this is brought to you by Sarge Willie Pete. Right? And shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. And right, so I listened to Sarge Willie Pete's Converse video about, well, damn. Hey y'all, get your cakes here. Boy, if y'all say Miami don't got them women in Miami don't got them cakes, oh my God. Sorry, babe, but goddamn. Lord, Jesus Christ. Anyway, on tonight's news, brought to you by light-skinned women with big foreheads and them cakes. Get your cakes here. South Florida. Anyway, so like I was saying, goddamn, that distraction. So, Sarge Willie Pete speaking about the Gilded Age 2.0. Welcome to where I am, Sarge. So, I wanted to say this, and yes, I'm going to get into Conscious Lee and Tanya TKO flaming his ass. We're going to speak about that in a little bit. If it looks like I forget, please make sure to mention it in the comments, right? So, anyway, Sarge Willie Pete speaking about the Gilded Age 2.0. Yes, Sarge, yes, absolutely. If y'all want to know why Mr. Z calls himself a leftist, that's why, right? So for me, it was never about those spiting women, right? Spiting black women or anything like that. I understand that the majority of them just don't know what the entire hell they're talking about. Number one. Number two, I make space for people that's going to abuse the system. Somebody's going to find a way to abuse it at the very top, in the middle, at the very bottom. And so, yes, we already know, especially being black, how black women take advantage and abuse the system, right? To our detriment. We understand the welfare queen trope. We understand all of that, right? We understand how to use government assistance to pretty much give men the middle finger, but it's still bigger than them. The conversation we're having about men in general struggling, about women's hypergamy in this environment, unless y'all gonna find a way to push them back in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, which I don't really know how y'all gonna do. Quite frankly, you need jobs back home. You need factory jobs. You need not only factory jobs, you need to give these people a sense of a way to build up their self-esteem so that they don't work these factory jobs, but you still don't call them like little peons, kind of how the women are doing it now. And I know y'all seeing those videos more and more of black women just defecating across any 9-to-5 job. I saw that video with the sister. It looked like a dark background, or it might be nighttime, and she's going in on 9-to-5 men, and she's like, and you hear this more and more, right? So like, y'all give me a second. Paramedic passing by, waiting, and there go the paramedic. Okay, so. Yeah, so the Gilded Age 2.0, I think, haven't I said that already somewhere in the Black Manosphere? I think I've said this multiple times in the Black Manosphere. Yes, we are living through a Gilded Age 2.0, and there's going to be a reckoning. Well, there is already a reckoning, right? So I'm saying that to say I think conservative brothers, y'all still have a role to play. And if it is to spite the party that quote unquote supposed to occupy the left, they really don't. If you don't realize already, we've moved to the right in this country. So all of you that think the Democrats are a leftist party, if you think the Democrats are a leftist party, no, the Democrats are a center right party, and the Republicans are absolutely insane to the right. They fell off the table. They're not even on the scale anymore. So I'm saying that to say we understand that somebody's going to abuse the system regardless. This is bigger than them. This is bigger than the women. This is bigger than black women. This whole thing needs to be rejiggered. Uber wealthy people, white wealthy people, took advantage of a particular environment that existed from about the mid 70s on up, definitely the late 70s on up, definitely the early 80s on up. And, you know, the last person that could have possibly reverse course or halt, who goes there, stop this, was Bill Clinton. And even Black Uru spoke to this, and he didn't. He doubled down on neoliberalism with concepts of the third way. Y'all could tell me how that worked out for black people. Wait for it, it didn't. Which is like Republican light for those of you that don't understand what the third way is. It's Republican light. That's what it is. Because Democrats got their asses handed to them all through the 80s. And definitely, you know, from pretty much what 81 when Reagan was elected to 92 when Bill Clinton beat George W. Bush at his own game. So, you know, that's the third way is just Democrats playing Republican. That's what that is. It's Democrats cosplaying Republicans. That's what that is. So I'm glad that Sarge Willie Pete is actually here. I don't expect Sarge Willie Pete to be a leftist as Mr. Z, but I appreciate that he's actually thinking about this in a macro sense. I will caution him, and like Leon said, about trying to wake white folks up. They're too invested, right? They're too invested in the lottery dream idea that eventually them or their children or they'll win the lottery and they will be put in the same position as their upper middle class and rich cousins, right? And like Leon says over here, Sarge Willie Pete was trying to get white people to wake up, LOL. And like, yeah, and I would caution Sarge Willie Pete on that. I understand the push. I understand there's this nagging feeling for black people that, you know, if you just present the facts to people, then that will wake them up. And as a person that have been in plenty of debates with different people, whether they're black, white, Latino, a couple of Asians, more East Asian than South Asian, but a couple of Asians, about a myriad of different things, including class and race and economics, I would still caution Sarge Willie Pete. And I you know, I think he gets it. I think it's just something that just gnaws at us as black people to speak to people as if they don't know. And I can understand him speaking this way. I get it. But as I said, I would caution him because, once again, Sarge, you know, these people may understand, and I would argue they do. They're so invested in the lottery dream idea that they're going to be the ones to work hard their way out of poverty, right? And is that possible? Yeah. Are you going to work hard your way out of like poverty to upper middle class? Probably not. Like 9.5 out of 10, no. Right? So you know, trying to wake white people up and explain to them how their plight became to be, right? And explain to them class struggle in Europe and class above race. See, that one right there, Sarge, I don't really know. Nope. But I can understand why you said that. Right. And I can understand, once again, I would caution you about the idea of trying to wake white folks up, particularly like you said, the undead chronics, which you could see they're still racist as crap. So them aligning with black people for 2 nanoseconds, or black men, these undead chronics that would align with black men for all of the 2 nanoseconds, we would be able to overthrow the white oligarchs and the white elites. These people would then try to grab the helm of the ship and run things pretty much just like their ancestors, right? So that's something that I would caution you with, Sarge Willie Pete. But other than that, I think, oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I was saying about the conservative brothers. Y'all have a role to play. This is why I don't go in on conservative brothers unless y'all come for me, or black leftists. Y'all have a role to play. Your role to play is to see if the Republicans are actually going to come through with doing something to spite the Democrats, for black people, for black men specifically. And if they do, that's when y'all supposed to get on the blowhorn. Hey, we actually got them to commit to something. They're actually going to do something. But if all they got is platitudes and placating, right, and ego stroke, yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're already dealing with that over here on the left. If the right is going to try to placate, what I'm saying is, dear black conservative brethren, please do not be like when black women were to white women. That's what I'm saying. To sum it all up, just don't do that. Don't be the conservative version of Democrat, quote unquote, leftist. They're really not leftist. Black women. Don't be the Republican version of that for the white men, where they use you as the mascot to speak about, white men and white boys and their underachievement and them struggle and their struggles. And then they use you as the mascot, and then they take all the boons and the gains and the wealth and the well wishes, and they sneak it out the back door, and they leave you to starve. While they flick a couple of crumbs to a handful of black men that they use to marginalize you and tell you it's your fault. Wait, we kind of already have that. Anyway, there's that part, right? So whatever you do, conservative brethren, just don't be the Republican version of black women. That's what I'm saying. Just don't do that. Yeah. So other than that, I think what Sarge Willie Pete presented here was pretty on point. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. I understand the frustration, particularly as millennials. I am not one of these millennial people that feel shame about complaining. Yeah, right. Yes, I will complain. I won't cry, but I will complain. I won't talk about how it's not fair, but it really isn't. That white boomers, hoarded all the wealth and ran out the back door with it and said, screw their kids. So obviously they said, screw their kids. And I'm talking about as a generation of millennials, not as their individual kids. Their individual kids, most of them are going to be super straight if they're not already straight. I told y'all already about all the people that I knew that were younger Xers and millennials, and their parents are paying for things in their 40s. You heard right. Millennial and Gen Z. Excuse me, that was Gen Z. Millennial and Generation X people in their late 30s and early 40s, now mid 40s for some of the Gen X, and their parents are paying car note. Their parents are paying car insurance. Their parents are paying cell phone bills. Their parents are buying the grandkid. So the boomer and older Xer, their children, which are like Gen Z or Alpha of Gen Z, buying their kids their first laptop, right? Their first iPad, etc. I am not joking. Some of you have been in those offices and those hospitals and those different white and blue collar spaces, and you hear grandparents making the big purchases for their grandchildren, and the children are millennial and Gen X. So I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all already know. And if you're in an environment with white folks doing that, then yeah, black people, y'all have a lot to think about when it comes to your kid moving out at 18, and then they're no longer getting any money, or you're not sustaining them any way possible outside of maybe sending a little $100 there, $100 here when they're in university and college. Yeah, but no. Right? Yeah, but no. So there's that. And that seeing that really helped me to come to the conclusion, like, oh, so they're selling rugged individuality to us while they float their children. They're adult children, right? They're middle-aged adult children. I'm not joking, right? So there's things to think about, people. There's things to think about. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Okay, now to the good pause, juicy stuff. So consciously running around here still defending Brickface Rhoda, and Tanya TKO flamed his ass, of course. Look, man, consciously, you know, Tanya TKO, she asked her subscribers, her followers, what they thought about you and were you placating, and guess what? They all said you were placating, or the majority of them said you were placating, because you're placating and they can see it. You're placating, and you're placating in the worst way. You're placating in the way where you change the subject. The subject consciously is, did Rhoda lie about being hit in the face with a brick? Point blank, period, question mark. That is the question. Everything else you did, trying to equivocate, trying to change the subject, trying to talk about something else, trying to play it down, trying to use euphemisms, trying to put it in context, you and FD Signifier and all the rest of you, all y'all are doing is proving the point. Dear black women, we told you. We're the ones telling you the truth, not these others. Yes, the uncomfortable truth, the realness, that's us. Everyone else, and I mean everyone else that doesn't sound like us, is lying to your face in a way that's going to hurt you in the long run. Consciously, you try to placate black women, and all Tanya TKO could talk about is your light-skinned wife. She's talking about your light-skinned wife like your light-skinned wife isn't black, like she's white. You know the woman that you said you met at 17, which means you were probably in high school? Yeah. All Tanya TKO can focus on is your light-skinned wife while you placating black women. She don't want to hear nothing about that love thing. She don't want to hear nothing about that puppy dog love thing. You're winning. You're married. You're what? You're in your late 20s, early 30s, if I'm not mistaken. You have 2 children. You're still married to the same woman. It doesn't matter. You're a good family man from what I could see. None of that matters. You placating black women. None of that matters. All they see is your light-skinned wife. Huh? They doing you just like they did Kendrick after Black of the Berry. Oh, that sound nice. Why don't you have a dark-skinned, broad-nosed, kinky hair, 4C curl hair wife? We don't care about love. We care about image. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I am in a parking garage right now. I am running errands. Well, my last errand for today. Okay. I might have went out for a second. My apologies if I did. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yep. You heard right. Yep. Is she Mexican? And someone says, I thought she was Mexican. Is she? Maybe. Right. But let's say she's not like that at all. Let's she is Mexican, like Lord says. All they can focus on is that your wife doesn't look like them. There we go. Your wife doesn't look like them, and that's all they can hear. Why are you trying to placate? Nobody trying to hear no love talk. Nobody trying to hear, oh, you know, we connected and, you know, we've been together since high school. Yeah, and by the way, that's great. Very few of us actually get married to our high school sweetheart and go out and have children and you know, go and still, you know, manage to live this life and be successful. Very few of us actually get that. And you have it and nobody cares. When I say no one, I mean the women. Black women don't care. Consciously, did you hear me? Black women don't care. They don't even care about you placating. They love it when you beat up on black men, by the way. They love it. You know how you always do that part? So you placating and it doesn't even matter because the ladies ain't trying to hear it. Right? They're not even trying to hear it. She flaming you and your wife, and she's calling you a placater. But she still didn't actually go into what you were saying that's placating. I see you, Tanya TKO. Tanya TKO, how dare you speak about a woman's skin tone? Ma'am, 7, 8 years ago, you were not as light skinned as you are now, and you were using this goddamn high intensity light to make you seem even lighter. Ooh. Huh? You were really brown skinned about 7, 8 years ago. Huh? When you did that interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, you didn't look as light as you do now. Huh? You got the nerve to talk about somebody being light skinned and whatever, racially ambiguous, and you got the nerve to make fun of people's wife. Do you have a wedding ring yet? Oh God. Are you even in a relationship? Jesus. You know, these little sassy little Caribbean women, I grew up with them, that be chronically single because of their mouth. They give borderline borderline like political lesbianism vibes, don't they? They always got something negative to say about men. They're extra super unbearably sassy, and the only people that really want to pipe are people that have a thing for masochism and the white dude that wants to pipe to feel like he conquered her. Trust me, I know this. White dudes love them a sassy black woman while they shoving their member down her throat. Huh? Anyway, so you know, Tanya TKO flaming consciously is just like the cherry, right? It's the cherry on top of the icing. It's the cherry on top of the icing. It's the cherry on top of the cake. Because consciously did all of this placating. He's trying to equivocate. He's trying to dance and move and do anything. And by the way, so many of you black men, particularly on the left, this is what makes us look bad. Particularly on the left, y'all just refuse to ever hold women, black women in particular, accountable for nothing. Y'all even refuse to hold individual black women accountable for knowing. Let me be very clear, consciously, what you did. And putting it in context with Rhoda. Rhoda came to this country, put her finger to the wind, realized that if she sells black misandry, if she sells woe is me, black men are targeting me, black men don't want to see me win, black men are sexist monsters. If she sells that she will get money and support from lame black men like you and from black women who want to hear that. Because black women have been primed by this white racist society and by black men like you and by black women like Terry McMillan and Oprah and Alice Walker and all these others, Bell Hooks and them, that black men are these evil, sadistic, want to see black women lose ass people. And Rhoda came to this country, put her finger to the wind, and realized what she had to do to make some money, and she did it. And then men like you still find ways to excuse it. Men like you still find ways to be, why y'all so hyper focused on this? Why don't y'all worry about that? See, y'all was calling, you called Jonathan Majors Jonathan King, Jonathan Martin King, whatever you wanted to say to mock black men. It didn't matter because women like Tanya TKO still flamed your ass. Rightfully so. She still flamed you. So the whole country, not the whole country really, but anybody in the know realizes that Rhoda lied. Y'all can say, oh, she was hit in the face with a water bottle. She was still harassed by a black man. She still lied about the story. How about we focus on the fact that Rhoda lied about the story? Point blank, period. How about that? The truth of the matter is that Rhoda lied about the story. Number one. Number two, Rhoda lied about the story. Number two. Number three, Rhoda lied about the story. Number three. Right? Oh, Cobbin, thank you. And Camera says she hit him first. That part, right? And she lied about being, let's be very clear, consciously, FD signifier, and all the rest of you. This lady lied about being hit in the face with a brick by a black man in front of other black men who did nothing. That is the story. Everything else y'all talking about is crap. Everything else. The story is that Rhoda lied about being hit in the face with a brick by a black man. Be very clear. I didn't say a man. I didn't say a white man. I didn't say a Latino man. I didn't say an Asian man. I said Rhoda said that she was hit in the face with a brick by a black man. And other black men, excuse me, stood around and watched and did nothing. That is the story. Consciously, that is the story you need to address. Your placating, lying ass. FD, you had the nerve to still, let me say that one more again, still put that story up even after I told you that Rhoda was lying, that it was already known that Rhoda was lying. 1 month later, a lot of you, let me say this again. The black manosphere exists because of men like you, consciously, because of women like you, Kim Foster, because of women like you, Chrissy, because of men like you, FD signifier. Everyone, all of you, and your ideological elders have been placating black women for decades at the detriment of black men and boys. Let me be very clear. You weren't just placating black women in a vacuum. You were placating black women at the detriment of your men and boys. Anyone want to say intersectionality? Anyone? That's why we exist. And every single I said every single time y'all get caught with your pants down, lying, protecting the liars, trying to equivocate, right? Trying to reframe, trying to use nuance, trying to use euphemisms. I said every single time y'all get caught, we on y'all ass. And I mean that figuratively before one of y'all start doing the, oh, see, they're threatening me. Stop it. My life is going on the up track. There's no reason why I would destroy my life trying to destroy one of y'all. Well, outside of social media, of course. Jake, you got to send them to me. Check my email. You got to send them to me. And Jake says, I have screenshots of FD saying he would never admit that he was wrong. Of course. Right? Adric says, Z, you thought FD signifier would listen to you about Brickgate? I know. You're right. You're right. You're right. My own naivete. You're right. Right? As y'all listen, it's going to keep on happening. I said it before. Kim Foster, you and your ideological elders, that's all of the Alice Walkers and Kim Fosters and Kim Foster, excuse me, Alice Walkers and Bell Hooks and Oprahs and them, right? And Terry McMillan and all the rest, right? Y'all created the space for Rhoda, man. Not only did you create the space for Rhoda, you created a space for Carly Russell. You created a space for Juicy Smoulier. That I refuse to say the man's name the right way because it's funny saying it the wrong way. Y'all created the space. Kim Foster, that's you and your ideological elders. Conscious Lee, FD Signifier, Eddie and the other brothers. Y'all created the space, man. Foreign man in a foreign land. You're Bahamian. I'm Bahamian descent. We know how women get down in the Caribbean, bro. We know how they get down, and you had the unmitigated gall to call the Black Manosphere nig cells. You know how women are getting down in Bahamas, and you got the unmitigated gall to call black men in the Black Manosphere nig cells. Do you want me to start speaking about how black women are getting down in the Bahamas? You think I don't know? I have family there now. T1J, another one. A whole lot of black men. Ooh, y'all gonna go down with that ship. I'ma make sure of it. How easy is it to make y'all seem like the hypocrites that y'all are? How easy is it? Y'all were placating black women for Tanya TKO. I didn't see the clip with Yanni yet, so I gotta go watch that. And apparently Yanni to turn around and deflame y'all anyway. Y'all are not protecting black women. This is not about protecting black women. This is not protecting them. I want to be very clear. Protecting black women, and I'm saying protecting the way y'all think of it, quote unquote, protecting black women's already messed up sensibilities is not protecting them. If she believes a lie, it's not protecting her to tell her, no, that's the truth. That's not protection. So for all of you, from Boyce Watkins to Willie D to all of you, to Steve Harvey, all of you, FD Signifier, all of you who think if you just continue to tell black women, okay, you know, you're right. No. If FD is up there with T Noir and he's saying that, how am I supposed to tell these women that what they're actually asking for is patriarchy and they should, now we already have our disagreements with that part, but we're gonna let that one go for now. And maybe they should like let all of this go. And he says it to T Noir, and both of them look at each other like, I ain't gonna do it. So let me get this right. The men get the brutal, honest truth, a gut punch, a punch to the temple, brutal, honest truth. The men and the boys get the brutal, honest truth. No chaser. Right? No anesthesia, just brutal, honest truth. And the women, on the other hand, we start debating, okay, how can we tell? Okay, I don't really think there's any soft way to tell them, so I just won't. Huh? And what's the brutal, honest truth, Z? That what they're asking for and what they're demanding and what they throw in a goddamn temper tantrum and being little petulant children for is not going to exist. What does that mean, Z? You can't outcompete. You can't be chosen by the system over the men and then still get to play hypergamy. That part. FD knows it. He won't say it. T-Nor knows it. She won't say it. Kim Foster knows it. She won't say it. She won't say it as brutally honest as it needs to be. A whole lot of people know, they still play the game. They won't say it. Right? Huh. They won't say it. So consciously, you try to placate, right? And you still got flamed. And all they could focus on is your maybe non-black racially ambiguous light-skinned wife. That's all they could focus on. Why are you placating? Look at that. Don't worry, FD. Eventually, it'll be you too. And foreign man in a foreign land, eventually it will be you too. Right? All they want to hear is that you worship at the ground they walk on. I said it to you, FD. You thought I was joking. I said it to you on the first live that you joined. I said it to you. That first conversation we had, I said it to you. These women are not good with you placate. It's not enough. They want you to bow. You thought I was being hyperbolic when I said it. Well, Tanya TKO, everyone. FD, you're watching as Kim Foster engages in a verbal sparring with Obsidian, and whenever she get her little feelings hurt, she calls her white daddy to come and regulate it. You're watching that happen. I told you, they want you to bow. I said it the way I meant it. Right? I said it the way I meant it. I said it the way you know it. Ooh, Z, you know it, FD. You know it. Let me be very clear. Everything we're saying here, FD already know. Consciously already know. Foreign man in a foreign land already know. Eddie already knows. They all already know. It's how they're going to play the game. See, they know it, but there's this little thing in the back of their mind that says, but intersectionality, and black women have been so put upon it, all these black men, and I can understand why black women act the way they do. Ain't no sympathy or empathy for black men and boys. Once again, we get the brutal, hard truth, the gut punch. But for the women, it's, I understand this, and, you know, in colorism and the European beauty standard and white supremacy and the white hegemony. And you mean the white hegemony that a lot of these black women want to tuck themselves under them white man balls? Oops. Yeah, I understand why they act the way they do, so I'm gonna make space for them. Huh? Don't get it misconstrued. These people know already. Mr. Z is just stating those super obvious facts. They know already. Right? And thank you for the super chat, Passport OG. Thank you for the super chat. And he says, "Cook well, don't cook well done, please." Yeah, they need it because placating the way these people, and I want to be very clear, it's not placating black women in a way that's not dangerous to black men. Because what you do is you prime the young black girls and the young black women with your type of rhetoric, and then they come out here in the real world where men don't apologize for being born with a penis. They come out here in the real world, right, where men don't think they were an accident of birth. Oozy. They come out here in the real world where men are 20% bigger and stronger than women. I don't know some of these sisters and they weight. Anyway, right? They come out here in the real world where some black men will engage in the verbal sparring with these black women, and the black men will be wittier, smarter, quicker, faster, better. And they come out here in the real world and get their head taken off. Then they go try to hide under white men, get piped and tossed. Hide under Latino men, get piped and tossed. I'm not even going to mention Asian men. That's not a thing. FD, Consciously, T1J, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, Eddie, y'all just create the environment for black women to just get used, tossed, and abused by, well, other men like you, black men like you, and all the other various shades and races of men Who's going to do the same? Placate, pipe, toss, rinse and repeat. That's all you do. And it comes at the detriment of everyday working regular black men. What you're doing is not just placating black women. It's dangerous to black men because these black women end up becoming teachers and professors and principals and bank tellers and bank managers and loan officers, police officers, paramedics, nurses, doctors. How many? Didn't we hear something about a nurse who said, "Oh, if Kevin Samuels was in my operating room or whatever, I would have let him die. I would have suffocated him or something like that." Yeah, you heard right. Huh? Yes, you heard right. Huh? So y'all placate these weirdo, throw it off, really just envious of white women ass black women. Then the women do the same thing. Excuse me. It's not like they're trying to balance it out. Tanya TKO is not trying to balance it out. Kim Foster's not trying to balance it out. Chrissy and Yanni and Lexus Exodus and Paris Malone and Cynthia G, etc., etc. So let me get this right. The women are placating the women. The men are placating the women. And that works for, if y'all, these are the people that claim to care about the black community, right? Right? They claim to care about the black community. And many of them would say, you know, everybody end up with whoever is the best for you, but I would rather you see you with a black person. It would be great to maintain the black community. Yeah. How are you supposed to maintain or keep a black community when one group of people is punched in the face with the brutal honesty of the world every second of every day, and the other person is placated all day, every day? Where they get to foster resentment and anger about the light-skinned chick and then the racially ambiguous chick and then the white woman and the Latina woman, and they get to speak and they get to put out think piece after think piece after think piece after think piece about desirability and colorism and the European beauty standard and fashion and feminism and women's rights and more women's rights and more colorism and more talk about desirability and more talk about the European beauty standard and more talk about the European beauty standard and more talk about the European beauty standard. Did I say that? Let me say that one more again. And more talk about the European beauty standard. Oh, thank you, Passport OG. And more talk about co-parenting. You know, negative liberty can be in a relationship with a black man because that sounds like too much restraint. So while black men and boys are being punched in the gut with the brutal honesty of the world, black women feel slighted that white men won't date them when they go to all 50 states and date, I don't know, their own women. Imagine wanting to be valorized and validated by white men so bad you think you could shame them for not dating you. Wow. You think East Asian women didn't feel a certain way? You think South Asian women didn't feel a certain way about that white dude that clearly has enough money to travel all around the country? They did. They were smart enough not to say anything out loud. But black women with their insatiable inferiority complex, well, so black men get punched in the face with a brutal honesty. White women, I said white women, let you know, Freudian slip there. Yep, said it the way I meant it. Anyway, black women who get punched sometimes, every once in a blue, very sparingly, very soft by white society. I didn't say black men, I said white society and non-black people, then turn around and blame black men. What? Who? What? What? Huh? And then consciously comes in to try to shame and silence black men. And then the one black woman that says something in defense of black men, and that shows how this black woman was lying and how she's done this multiple times. That's another thing consciously you didn't address, how often Rhoda has pulled this same stunt, that part too. See, Yanni, Kim, Chrissy, Lexus Exodus, definitely you, Paris Malone. I see you've been real quiet. By the way, Tanya TKO called y'all out. She didn't say y'all name, but she called y'all out. All these, she said, all the women that's quiet, that's not covering this. Chrissy, Paris. Not Yeti. Yeti at least said something about this. Especially you, Paris, with your femicide talk. You notice Paris ain't saying nothing about no goddamn Brickgate. She ain't saying nothing about Rhoda, even though she helped to create the environment for Rhoda. Huh? Even though she helped to create the environment for Rhoda. You should be the first person to be like, yeah, about that. See, this is not what I meant. But it is what you meant. That's why you didn't say anything. Right? Wait a minute, Leon. What are you saying? And Leon says she blamed black women the first time, black American women. Who are you saying? Are you saying Paris did that? Right? And so we have multiple people, right? Let me put this one up. Multiple people who are just straight up saying, yeah, I ain't going to apologize. I said what I said. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, Brickgate. Oh, wait, Rhoda's blaming black women? Oh, yeah. She did go after what's the sister name? Queen of Accountability, but that's her name on IG. That's not her name on YouTube. But yeah, I saw that clip. If we're referring to the same one, right? So where do these people go from here now? Yeah, celebrity. Thank you. Y'all placated, got caught. And by the way, can we count the ways? Juicy Smoulier, Carly Russell, BLM, Rhoda. I'm just saying. The Black Manosphere was right about all of them. The Black Manosphere was right about all of it. Because y'all created the space for these people to play this game and lie and use black men as the boogeyman, the scary black men, right? Y'all let BLM, let me be very clear how egregious, how disgusting what BLM did, how disgusting it was. You let a number of black young men, barely, not even barely, some of them barely men, barely adults, not even adults in the case of Trayvon Martin. You let BLM, queer black women who despise straight black men in particular, but despise black men. You let 3 queer black women be the face and the head of a movement. How do y'all like that intersectionality? Be the face of a movement predicated on the dead bodies of black men and boys. You imagine? And y'all thought that was okay until those women were stealing money and running out the back door with it. How's that intersectionality looking? So let me get this right. From what we understand, straight black men and boys being murdered by the state, extrajudicial killings, sometimes not even by the state, by vigilantes, white and white adjacent vigilantes, right? And then we have 3 queer black women whose mission statement told you everything but nuclear family. I mean, for real though. And y'all thought that these people had black people in general, black men in particular, best interests at heart? Huh? These people got caught. They were sending statements to each other about how can they try to remix and reframe that mansion they bought as some type of like central hub where they think their way and they discuss what they're gonna do and et cetera, et cetera. FD signifier, Kim Foster, people like you helped to create the space for them because you swore by intersectionality. Kimberly Crenshaw and everyone that has followed in that intersectional footstep has just taken that and used it to benign neglect black boys and men in their plight. A whole lot of wannabe petite bourgeoisie black women who got into academia or got into corporate spaces, locked the door behind them, only let other women and some black LGBTQ people behind them, a handful of super placating straight black men. They were at the guard gate, and all they did was use intersectionality as a litmus test, as a purity test. And then you wonder why the white guys are coming after y'all. You don't even got enough straight black men to defend you because you've been putting your foot up their ass, brought to you by your closest white feminist and white male feminist. Imagine a woman like Kim Foster. Black men they're not trying to fight to protect our spaces in academia and what spaces? Where are the straight black men in those spaces? Ooh. Who? Dr. T? Dr. Tommy Curry? Who? Who? Army Ose Frimpong? Who? Dr. Green Gorilla? Dr. Dunbar? Who? There's a handful. Because women like Kim Foster that found themselves in those spaces made sure to keep men like that out as much as they could. And now the white guys are coming for y'all ass, and y'all don't even got enough people to protect y'all. Rightfully so. Intersectionality, right? You didn't even play the game right. Listen, there's even rules to breaking the rules. You didn't even play the game right to make sure you have the people in position to protect your position. You you allowed for the white left to leave you out, excuse me, out there. Cough still there, apparently. You allowed the white left to leave you out there as an island. And here comes the conservatives, white male conservatives, about to tsunami your whole damn shit. Profanity needed, by the way. Dr. Ron O'Neill, thank you, thank you. Right? And Leon says, and thank you for the super chat. If FD consciously or any of these guys make a video make a video using consumer capitalism to extract resources from black women mentally and spiritually. Ooh. 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 Especially not mentally and spiritually. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. Yep, that sounds about right. Good point, Ezreal. And Ezreal says, newsflash, simping has no retirement plan. You either simp for life or you lose it all and get put out on the YouTube street corner. Right? And consciously is probably going to be straight. Oh, I didn't know. Did he do that for real? And Jake says, Z, do you see consciously retweet a video of the bullet bag lady? No, I did not. Okay, and you screenshot. Okay, you email me the screenshots. Thank you. Thank you. Right? No, I did not. And Leon, thank you for the super chat. Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Wow. And I agree with Azrael. It doesn't come with a retirement plan. It does not. Right? And I agree with Lee. These people, you put black women on this high of and you've heard Kim Foster say it, right? Like she would rather be single than be with a man like Obsidian. Fine. That's perfectly okay. Cool. Right? And she's spoken about, like her, she wouldn't frame it this way, but I'm gonna frame it this way. Her disdain for blue collar men, right? It's just they just don't align. And I understand. Here's the issue. The average black woman can't afford to do that, but you sell them on that. Once again, it's Rebecca Traister all over again. When the young lady was asking her, yeah, but these are women that are in poverty and that are struggling and that marriage would benefit. And what we do when we sell them all this BS feminist crap is we still get married. We still have quote unquote partners, and I'm reframing some of this, rephrasing it. But the young lady was essentially getting on Rebecca Traister about how, yeah, what you're saying sounds nice, but what ends up happening is that women like us get married, stay married often, while we sell all this essentially negative liberty to working class and working poor women who end up staying in poverty. Kim Foster. So as Kim Foster starts to explore and starts to push this idea of tactical patriarchy on working class and poor women who can't afford her BS theories, she's with the brother right now. You never know, they might get married. You never know, she might reverse her idea about having children. You never know. But if they stay together, maybe eventually they'll get married. While Kim Foster pushes this idea of tactical patriarchy onto working class, working poor, lower middle class women, black women, who can't afford her stupid ass theories. I swear to God, Kim Foster, I'll say it to your face. I'll say it to your face in front of your man. A whole lot of y'all, all y'all had was BS theories for the past, I don't know, 6 decades. And here are working class and lower middle class and working poor black women. And what do they got to show for it except a bunch of sass and single and still on the bottom? And here's the kicker. More and more of them are not even having children anymore. So they don't even have the children to fall back on as they get old and they can't work anymore. Uh-oh. And Kim Foster, women like you, your ideological elders, bell hooks, what she got? What? She's out of here. As a matter of fact, bell hooks is passed. Fine. Either way, y'all sold all this BS theory to these women. And those women have what to show for it now? Okay, they don't need men. They could just work their little middle management job. Fine. Drive their little baby Benz if they can even afford it. Have their little condo if they can even afford it. Their little apartment, maybe even a home, possibly, maybe, probably not. And what else? And you call that upliftment? Selling negative liberty? You call that upliftment? Because it's the worst thing in the world to have a man help you with that, pay most of it. But every once in a while, he tell you go sit your ass down somewhere. That's the worst thing in the world, ain't it? That's worse than poverty, ain't it? That's worse than the struggle, ain't it? That's worse than having to work until you die, ain't it? Having a man occasionally tell you, who you talking to like that is worse than poverty, huh? It's worse than those sleepless, crying ass nights, ain't it? That's all women like you have done, Kim Foster. Consciously, that's all men like you have done. While you're married. Whoop. Well, there's that. And here's Tanya TKO to flame your ass. And apparently, he real talk with Yanni. Rightfully so. Huh? Right? Huh. What exactly? I keep on saying it. I think Obsidian has said it. Well, actually, not. I think I've heard him say it. What exactly have y'all done for black women? Okay, they got a couple of middle management jobs, and a couple of them got some baby Benzes they could barely afford. What else did y'all do? Kim Foster, you and your ideological elders, what else did y'all do except being a pass around for some white dudes up top? Then get mad about that and then enter into same sex loving relationships with a black woman, and if you're lucky, with a white woman. What else did y'all do? And design and art says, and thank you for the super chat. But Z, why do you think black men have given into black women's insecurities so hard? Because it's lucrative. It's lucrative. It's lucrative because you were raised to do it by mama them. Huh? Because it's lucrative and you were raised to do it, right? And because we were also indoctrinated with a bit of intersectional thought also, right? We were raised like that also. We were raised to pay excuse me. We were raised to pay fealty to the gynocracy also. I would argue that's why. And like Leon says here, it's consumer culture capitalism. That's why they give in. That also good point. Biggest spenders are women. Biggest spenders are and people in general. Women, namely, but people in general will spend good money if you sell them what they want to hear. This is where Derek Jackson comes in. If you sell women on what they want to hear, if you sell them on their insecurity, which they like peeling like a scab where it feels good, but it doesn't, but it feels good too. It feel good, but it doesn't, but it feel good, but it doesn't, but it feel good. Yeah, they'll pay good money to sell them on their insecurity, to sell them how black men ain't ish, black men not gonna show up for you, black men losers like this or dusty like that. Oh yeah, they'll pay good money. And it's not just the money. They'll support you. They'll maybe even defend you. Thank you, Jake. Lie to me economy. Shout out to Ed. All right. The lie to me economy. So that design and art, that's what I think I think there's a number of factors on why men, but I think a lot of it has to do really with mama them, right? Ladies like to hear people in general, but women even more so. They just like that feeling of being placated. And then, by the way, many of them know you're placating them. Let's be very clear. Target TKO, and from what I'm hearing, Real Talk with Yanni, clearly they know consciously is placating. That means other women get it too. They still want you to pay fealty, right? They still want you to pay fealty. So you placating and kissing their ass in a way is showing them that you're really about this, right? It shows them that you're really about this, and they appreciate it, right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, design and art. And let me read this one now. And better use is word of the day, symptomus. Symptomus guys who simp for the greater good, i.e., this is funny. I.e., symptomists won't confront any idea that doesn't align with their symptomism. Symptomism, hysterical. Oh man. Okay, so I don't even. But this is the thing, better you. I don't know if I even want to call conscious lead him Sims. I don't know if I even want to call them Sims because it's worse, right? Because when you get caught up in this situation, right, and the women show you and tell you like, I realize you're simping. I don't appreciate it because your wife is doesn't look like me. So forget everything you saying, and you still talk like that, right? Like dear, and let this be a lesson to women also. With with consciously engaged in is why we call these people simp. I don't necessarily see consciously as simping. I think it's worse than that. I'm trying to come up with a word for it. But for the longest, women try to make it seem as if any man speaking positively about his woman or maybe a group of women or defending a woman is a simp. And they try to make it like a hyperbolic thing going in the opposite direction, right? And even when we try to clarify what simping was, these people purposely try to reframe what we were saying. No, consciously is what many of us are speaking about when we say simp, right? That's what we're saying. It's not just a black man speaking positively about black women or even not speaking negatively about black women. That's not a simp. Stop it. That's not who we're calling simps. Somewhere out there, there's somewhere you'll call any man that doesn't talk like this a simp. Any man is just a simp. Any man that's not talking about women like this is a simp. No, stop. Right? So consciously got called out there. He got called. Rightfully so. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And you're gonna see more of that. Let me say this again, because everybody want to say it like these people had an insane inferiority complex, right? And that's why they were calling in. Let me say this again. And this is where Chrissy was annoyed and mad because she was seeing so many young women, young black women call in. Some of them that were even subscribed to her. There's a reason why Kevin Samuels was getting call after 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 call every night he went live, whether it was on Instagram or YouTube. There's a reason why. Thank you. Thank you, Calvin. Called out there and flamed by women. Exactly. Called out and flamed. There's a reason why, Chrissy, because y'all were not being honest with the ladies. Y'all just told them, it's black men's fault. Colorism, featureism, texturism. Yeah, it's black men's fault. And black men are dusties, and black men are losers. And black men didn't build us Wakanda, so they ain't ish. You want black men to build you Wakanda only 50 years out of Jim Crow, and you didn't exactly help with the matter. Because many of your older cousins and grandma them were glad to see black men getting arrested and locked up for decades in the 80s and 90s. Ooh. Yeah, those were supposed to be your future husbands, ladies. That part. Because the dream that you would go to college and university and then end up with the baller ass white dude because you're in the same space as him did not happen. You should have built with black men. You should have made sure that those black men were not arrested and hauled off into prison and warehoused in prison so that immigrants could come and take their jobs. Ooh. And your jobs. Yikes. That part. Huh? That part. Huh? So that simping thing, I hear you. I hear you better, you, but I think it's worse than simping. I saw you put Panda Bear under there. And yeah, because that's what Tanya TKO was calling it, pandering, right? But she refused to really call it what it is. See, even she's still trying to protect that space. No, call a thing a thing. Women like you, Tanya TKO, women like Kim Foster, women like Chrissy, women like Yanni, definitely women like Paris Milan. Ooh, I see you ducking, dodging, and hiding from this story, Paris. Women like Paris Milan, with all they femicide talk, over every corner is some 60-year-old, 55-year-old black man preying on a 12-year-old girl. Talk like that is what gave space to Rhoda and women like her that keep on getting caught up with the lies. Let's be very clear. Caught of black women getting caught lying about predatory black men. Right? Black women getting caught in lies about how black men are either targeting them, being threatening to them, harassing them, being physically abusive to them, etc., etc. That's the lie these women are being caught in. And it's because women like you, Tanya TKO, women like you, Yanni, women like you, Chrissy, women like you, Lexus Exodus and Cynthia G, women like you, Chris Logic, women like you, Shira 7, women like you, Divested Zealot and Divested Witch, women like you. And definitely, definitely women like you, Paris Milan, created the space for that. And you're going to see more black women get caught red-handed in the lie. And women like you, Paris, are going to do what you do now. Hide. Don't speak about the story. Don't you won't even reprimand these women. You won't even be caught being a hypocrite. You just won't talk about it. That's why Tanya TKO pretty much called you out without saying your name. You and Chrissy. Thank you. Another one, Nyla Blob. Another one. Right? That's why Tanya TKO pretty much called y'all out without saying your name. Because both of y'all ain't covering the story, even though both of you were probably on social media were probably some of the biggest people to help to create the space, especially you, Paris. And consciously, an FD signifier over here fell right into it. For what? Huh? Well, she was hit with something. It wasn't black man that attacked her. She said she was hit in the face with a brick by a black man, and other black men stood around and did nothing. She actually went to a crowd of black men and started to record herself, acting like they knew what the hell she was talking about. How about that part of her lie, consciously? All you black women still trying to play this game? How about that part? And Dre says, I had a Zoom call with my family yesterday about family structures. The only one that was on the same page was my bro who married a non-black woman. Well, there's a reason why he married a non-black woman. Black women can have their negative liberty, they just won't have no men. That's it. That's the part that, like, no man, not white men, not black men, not Latino men. I'm not even gonna mention Asian men. That's the part that no one's saying to black women that they still didn't get it. I'll say it. Black women, you can have your negative liberty, you just won't have men. Men will come through and pipe, yeah. Yeah, men will come through and pipe. You might get a oops baby out the deal. Maybe. But relationship, have fun thinking you could tell men or individual man F you, middle finger, and then still have him be in a relationship with you and oh my god, and pay for stuff? Yeah, have fun on that. Dear black women, you can have your negative liberty. You can have it. But have fun having your negative liberty and have black men be in a relationship with you, and then the black men that could afford to pay bills, and then still have you tell them F off. Have fun with that. And don't forget, we still live in an anti-black society. That's why the white men ain't choosing neither, or the Latinos. There's that. You want to talk about colorism and then talk about Latinos in the same sentence like they're choosing. Yeah, that's it. Talk colorism and then mention Asians. Talk colorism and then mention South Asians. South Asian men. Oh my God. Oh, these people are a joke. Right? So Dre says the one person that understood what he was saying about family structures was his one brother that's in a relationship or married to a non-black woman. Well, will you look at that? It's still disappointing. That's sad and disappointing. For you to be in it, in the muck, for you to be single, in the muck, and still not get it. For you and a whole bunch of your homegirls to be single. Y'all going on brunch in your damn late 30s and early 40s, and it's a whole bunch of women. All of them single, if not most of them single. A couple of them same-sex loving relationships. A couple of them, if they're not single, they just got in a quote-unquote situationship that might matriculate into a relationship. That thing is only a few months old. For you to be in that, and for someone like Dre to be like, yeah, family structures, and for you to poo-poo that, and you don't understand why you're single. Yeah, that's it. This is when you defecate on black men and compare black men to non-black men. You mean the men with the family structures? You mean those men? You mean the men with the women that understand family structure? You mean those men? You mean the men that, yeah, the women may have engaged in negative liberty at once upon a time, or they may want to now, but they know better. They would rather have the husband than the quote unquote freedom. Uh-oh. You want to hurt? You want to hurt? Make black women feel some hurt? Tell them other women would rather have the husband than the freedom. because that's how they're. By the way, it's really negative liberty, but I'm saying freedom on purpose. Huh? Other women would rather have the structure than the quote unquote freedom, negative liberty. And Dre, that's all it is. Other women would rather have the restraints of the marriage and the relationship than have their quote unquote freedom. They don't want to go to sleep in a freaking empty bed. Huh? Lithium says, I will be the leader of my household, even if I got to date out. My body, my choice. And that's all it is. Right? And once again, Dre, thank you for the super chat. And a split Jim says, also not saying they have issues. Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to find the context for that. You mean like they have mental issues? These ladies have mental issues? Because they kind of do. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Right? All type of issues, financial issues. We ain't even going to talk about that student loan debt or that consumer debt, quiet as kept. We all talk about the student loan debt from young women in particular, young black women in particular. And when I say young, I'm really saying under the age of 40. We all talk about that student loan debt. How about that consumer debt? You think these women are not freaking eyeballs deep in consumer debt? How else do you think she make up for not having no goddamn man? Retail therapy. Consciously, I'm just saying. FD Signifier, I'm just saying. Kim Foster, I'm just saying. Khadijah, I'm just saying. Foreign man in a foreign land, I'm just saying. Y'all keep on placating these women. Single as hell, and I want to be very clear. Single and miserable. I want to be very clear what I'm saying. These women are not happy being single. Anyone want to speak about Lonnie Love? They lie. Ooh, girl, I like my single life. Ooh, you know, I don't got to worry about no man saying this and this and that. I get to go out when I want to. I'm not worried about nobody. Yawn. And then guess what? Then they finally end up with the man. A man. I didn't even say the man. They end up with a man. A man worth a damn. Maybe sometimes not even worth a damn. And then they start, oh, I was so lonely. It feels good to come home and have somebody waiting there for you. And somebody pick you up from the airport. Ain't that right, Lonnie Love? Wendy Williams telling you walking into that big ass condo and no one's there is lonely. But men like you, Consciously and FD Signifier, and y'all gonna keep on placating these women and lying to them. Kim Foster, you're gonna keep on telling these women, I'd rather be single than do it this way while you're in a relationship. Right? Yeah. Chelsea Christ. Yeah, the supermodel, the pageant winner, gorgeous, stunning. Forget gorgeous, stunning. Out of here. Young too. Out of here. Right? Talking about issues. Good point. Exactly what Split Jim is talking about. Talking about issues. What was her? This is a woman. Apparently, she might have, might have been kind of on the same sex track, and she couldn't deal with it. That's a possibility. But this is a woman that said it herself. She was always looking for the next mountain to climb. She was a mountain climber, and whenever she got to the peak, it wasn't enough. You needed a man to tell you, slow your ass down, relax, chill out, let's go somewhere, let's chill out. Come on, relax. You don't got to worry about that today. It's not going to be fulfilling anyway. Ooh. There's other aspects of life. I know neoliberalism, and they sold you money, 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 status, 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 and find your humanity through the items you're able to buy, and through defecating on other people because you're the one in the S-class Benz and they're not. And how fulfilling is that exactly? Right? You played the game the way the rich white folks told you to play it. And yeah. Oh, and didn't she date a white dude? Didn't she say she dated a white dude who ended up calling her the N-word or something along those lines, or made her feel uncomfortable about her race? Or she was tired of having race conversations with him? Didn't she say that too? Stunning black woman ends up with white dude who, let's be honest, he probably ain't a bum, but maybe. And you still can't get away from the race conversation. And you're not even a darker skinned black woman. You're a light skinned, stunning, insanely attractive black woman, and you still can't run away from the fact that you're black. Well, will you look at that? Huh? You still can't run away from it. Huh? Just saying. And I'm excuse me, Split Jim, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Wolf says Yanni is the same complexion as his wife. Why is she mad? No, she might be a shade darker. It was half a shade darker. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched the Yanni clip yet. I will be watching it after this. We might have some commentary on that a little bit later. Um, you know, uh, first, this YouTube thing, as y'all can see, I took a few days off and whatever, whatever. But when you're a content creator and you, especially with Yanni, like from my understanding, she lives off of her YouTube channel. I don't think she has another job or another gig or anything like that. You rise and fall off of YouTube. And it could just be her just creating some content, once again, controversy. So it's like, it's a rage click, right? So her people watched it, and she probably got a lot of views off of that, and they got another YouTube check, right? Because what exactly are these women talking? They, of course, let's pause right here. Let's actually ask ourselves, what exactly was Tanya TKO supposed to say about Rhoda? And assuming that Yanni said similar, what was Yanni supposed to say about the Rhoda situation? Did we actually expect them to say, you know what, the Black Manosphere was actually right? Those black dudes were actually right? She's actually, Rhoda is an example of a black woman, immigrant, playing black women for money because she knows that if she sells us on the black man, boogeyman, black men abuse me, and then other black men were too cowardly to do something. Are they actually going to be like, you know what, black men were right, and we may need to reframe this, revamp this, rethink this? Do we actually expect Yanni? If Conscious Lee's not even doing it, do we expect Yanni or Tanya TKO, who herself looks like she's bleaching? Do we accept? Let me say it the other way, the more official way, because these people don't like to own it. Doesn't Tanya TKO, who herself looks like she might be using quote unquote skin toner? Do we actually expect them to be honest? So let's assume that what people are saying, that Yanni probably said something similar to Tanya TKO and she flamed consciously. Of course, because that's the only road to take other than being like, you know what? Yeah. Rhoda did this because she knew we would give her money. She knew black women would give her money. She knew the lame dudes would give her money. If she just sells black men, evil black men, hit me in the face with a brick, and then other black men stood by and watched stories. Right? That's crazy. I was just listening to that a little while ago. Right. No, Accurate passing by listening to Fabulous and Dave East on that um on the Shaq and Biggie beat, the You Can't Stop the Rain beat. Yeah, it's a really good song, by the way. Y'all should check it out. Even though it sounds like Dave East been smoking way too many Newports, right? Oh, and Let's Go says, Mr. Z, link to Rebecca Tracer video. I'll put it. I will put it. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let's go. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it first before I send it to you. Give me 1 second. Because it's not that old. If I can find it, give me a second. Boom, got it. Haha. Okay. And I'm gonna put in the comments right now. And here we go. And there you go. Right. All right. There you go. And yeah. So, you know, this yeah, so I didn't expect Yanni to do anything different than what she did. Right? There's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go. Yanni has to do what we saw her do. Well, what did we expect her to do? Actually say that black men were correct? Right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? Oh, and Split Jim says, okay, let me see this. Also, not saying that they have issues. Correction gives context to their issues. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right. Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, Yanni might be the same complexion ish, and yeah, but and then the thing with Yanni is your everyday around the way black woman with that's extra sassy with the exaggerated facial expressions. Um, so a lot of black women align with her because that's who they are. That they hope to be Yanni. Yanni is someone to aspire to because she is a everyday black woman. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Yanni's a college graduated from university or college, so she's not a college grad. So she's just your everyday black woman who first, off of her weight loss journey and working out, and then now off of her commentary about whatever issues is able to earn some six figures off of YouTube. And that's why so many women are attracted to her. She's just your everyday black woman that earns six figures and that could tell men to F off. And so many black women just wish they were her. You can practice negative liberty, tell men to F off, talk about what's the incentive? And I want to be a kept woman of leisure. And you could say that, right? And you can say, because there's other black women who think that and say that, they just barely make anything. They barely making 40. They're barely making 50. But Yanni can say that and just stay single until she meets this dude, hopefully for her own sake, right? Because she earns enough. And so that's, I would say, a lot of people, a lot of women are attracted to black women are attracted to Yanni because she's the closest to them. She's still not old like that yet. She's not Tanya TKO. From our understanding, she ain't living her car, right? She's just your everyday millennial black woman who off of YouTube is earning this type of money, and yeah, right. And if you're a young woman, it sounds like she's giving some type of advice or some type of critique or whatever. Yawn. But yeah, the complexion thing, it's true. But look, black women will overlook certain things if you selling them what they want to hear, and so nobody is going to necessarily, and eventually they might, especially if Yanni sticks her big toe too far out the line, eventually they might. But as of right now, no one's going to mention that Yanni isn't exactly darker than a brown paper bag because she's telling them and selling them on what they want to hear. As long as she does that, she'll be all right, right? And Pablo Frescobar, what's going on? I saw your review. I saw your review. And I actually have some commentary that I got to put on. And I'm going to do a whole separate video about that. And Pablo says, Yo, Z, new to your channel. It's fire, right? I did a reaction to your live stream with Jess. And I saw it. And thank you. And I have a whole different stream I want to do about that. I did see it. And thank you very much. I did see it, right? And yes, I do know who Pablo is because obviously I listen to Obsidian, so yeah. Right. And Dre also says, and thank you for the super chat, Z, the black women is God is God. Don't talk about my queens. LOL. Look, you know, the Hoteps for like 2.3 seconds, okay, the black woman is God. And how is God exactly treating her pupils, her people? Uh-oh. It's not very godlike. Fine. Black women and God. How exactly is that working for black men and boys? Uh-oh. And guess what? More black, that's why we're a small group of men, because more black men and boys are actually trying to kiss black women's ass and it ain't working. It's not enough. So you can't even say these people aren't bending the knee. They're bending the knee. You know, like Conscious Lee did. And how did that work for him? Oh, wait. Tanya TKO, and from my understanding, Yanni still flamed him. Exactly. He bent the knee, and they still flamed him. That's not godlike. Oh, I know, Dre. Dre says, I be trolling, but thanks for doing the Lord's work, Z. I know. But I'm saying, fine, black women are God, and consciously bent the knee, he kissed the ring, mean it both ways, double entendre there, and guess what? They still flamed him. Exactly. Right? Exactly. It's not really godlike. And Dre also says, almost 15 women versus 3 men, including me. Only my dad and my bro was married. Man, look, man. Hey, I said this on Rogue's channel. Was it Rogue's channel? Whose channel was that? It wasn't Charles' channel. It might have been. Was it Rogue's channel? This is maybe like 2, maybe even 3 years ago approaching. And I was speaking to Black Uru, and this is a nighttime stream. It was late night. It was super late. And I said to Black Uru, I don't know if black women have self-awareness. And he said something like, of course not. Right? And like that's what you're essentially telling me, Dre, is like they're over here disagreeing with you and your brother about family structure while they're all single. Clearly. Right? Exactly. Support black male media. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Right? Exactly, Dre. Exactly. The lack of self-awareness is absolutely insane. Right? The femtacity of it all. The femdacity, better yet, the femdacity of it all. That's audacity, y'all, with feminism in the front. Or female. The femdacity of it all. Right? The lack of self-awareness is absolutely insane. As I said before, and I think that we should, I really think that we should start telling black women that, and women in general, that you could have your negative liberty or your quote unquote, what you call freedom. I say we say negative liberty first because they're going to call it freedom. It's not. You can have your negative liberty or what you call freedom. You just can't have men with it at the same time. There you go. And I'm really about black men saying that. I don't care whether non-black men say it, but black men. Dear black women, you can have your negative liberty or what you call freedom, which you like to characterize as freedom. It's not freedom, it's negative liberty. You can have it, you just can't have black men at the same time. Black men are not going to pay for you to stick the middle finger up at them. What drugs are you on? And more, what we're seeing is like more and more black men don't even want to have sex with you if you sticking the middle finger up at them. That's why y'all sharing the same dudes. That's why y'all being passed around by the white dudes that still toss you when they're done. Right? That still toss you when they're done. Oh God, I'll check this out when I get a chance, Jake. And Jake says she wants to debate Candace. Oh boy. Y'all better stop playing with Candace Owens. Y'all know Mr. Z is a leftist, but y'all better stop playing with Candace Owens. Y'all not ready. Y'all are not ready. Y'all better stop playing. Everybody go in underestimating Candace Owens and get their head knocked off and put on a pike. You need to look at Candace Owens for what she really is. She's a white, witty conservative man mixed with 13-year-old white guy edgelord culture painted black woman. That's why y'all keep on debating her like she's a black woman. Stop debating her like she's a black woman. Debate her like she's a white. Debate her like she's a female version of Ben Shapiro, but more witty. Because believe it or not, she's quicker than Ben Shapiro from what I can see. Right? Y'all better stop playing with Candace. Y'all keep on thinking, y'all keep on debating her like she's a black woman and she was raised around us. No. Debate Candace Owens like she's a wittier, sassier Ben Shapiro. And Dre, yeah, she is, but still. And Dre says, I used to like Candace, but she's a typical tradcon. Of course, hey, look, them white guys are not going to have no Candace Owens around them unless she play in her position. Pun intended. Right? They not, and we got to be honest about what Candace Owens is. Candace Owens is white guy, white conservative men's attempt at saying, look, we're not racist, even though 94% of black women voted for the Democrat back in 2016 and in 2020, but we're not racist. Look, Candace Owens. Right? You see what I'm saying, I'm Wolf? And I'm Wolf says, bruh, these hoes really got us rooting for racist Candace Owens. That's what this world's coming to, shaking my head. Oh, it's funny because it's true. Man, it's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true. Exactly. Exactly, I'm Wolf. Exactly. Candace is cute though. She's cute. That's a cute chocolate sister. It's not her physical appeal, but she's cute. I find her physically attractive. Everything else though, oh God. I can't take the fake white girl crap. I can't take oh God. Yawn. Right? Yeah. Jesus Christ. GC said Hammerhead Owens. What you see, I don't see it. She don't look like a hammerhead to me. Hysterical. Pablo said it too. I do too. She's attractive to me. She is. She's pretty. She's cute. Right? But Pablo, you can have her because I can't do the conservative black woman thing. It's too much. If I wanted a conservative woman, I would date someone like what's her face? Ann Coulter or something. What I look like dating a black woman that oh man. Can't do it. Can't nope. And it's not even just a conservative. It goes too far into the white worship lane for me. It's not even conservative. Like I have conservatives in my family. It's not even, it just go way too far, and that's the line, right? It just go too far into like the white stuff, right? Like remember when she was on Joe Rogan and she was like, yeah, I don't remember where Jay-Z's from. And she's talking crap about Jay-Z, but who doesn't know Jay-Z's from Brooklyn? Stop talking. Just stop. Right? And Joe Rogan caught her up on the whole emissions and environmental stuff. Look, Mr. Z is a petrol head. I love cars. I'm into automobiles. I'm an automobile enthusiast. And I understand that our my hobby pollutes. It does. It is what it is. But to watch her like do the like conservative two-step shuffle about like environmentalism and all that other stuff, I'm like, bro, stop. This is the one thing that you should be like, okay, yes, the left have a point, but this is where I disagree. I don't think we should go this far this way or this far that way, etc., etc. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. And that's what Joe Rogan was looking at her like, bruh, and took her head off. On that point, he took her head off. Of course. Too easy. See what I'm saying? Pablo, exactly. And Pablo says, yeah, I agree. They and pro-blacks talk about white people like they gods. Look, I told y'all, yeah, if you ever been really around white folks and you realize how artard, inept, like it really is their forefathers that put them in position, because your average white person is a bumbling idiot. We only know about our bumbling idiots in the black community really like that because of class compression, right? Class compression is why the doctor and whoever the hell else in and the barbershop. Let's be honest, that's the one cool thing about the barbershop is like everybody's around everybody. I actually like that. I don't want the barbershop to change. I do want the doctor and the brother that works at Walmart or the factory worker to all get their haircuts at the same place. That's the one place where everybody's on par, on the same level, and we joking and making fun and comparing football teams and basketball teams. That's cool. But we know about our bumbling idiots because of class compression. Y'all really don't know how many white folks are like at the top or trending towards that direction that are absolute fools. Law degree and all. I'm telling y'all, I know them. Right? Like they have their, excuse me, their one expertise of study that they're really good at, and then everything else in life, a joke. And I'm glad that more and more black people realize that, and we stop romanticizing these people. Just stop. Right? Black women. You know, white women aren't told to settle. Why are black women always told to settle? Meanwhile, the birth rate in white society is what now? White women are all over TikTok and YouTube complaining about white dudes not dating them, their bum ass white husband that doesn't pick up after himself, doesn't take a shower, and you know, all of this other white women are telling you they're not going to settle because all these they're going to college, they're going to university, and these white dudes aren't. And then black women, white women aren't told to settle. Why are we told to settle? If you don't stop talking, right? You just don't know what you're saying. You're just talking to be talking, right? Other men build for their women. Anyone want to tell me how does Latin America look? Everything south of Texas, definitely south of Mexico. How does that look? Anybody want to tell me how did China look from about 1700 to like yesterday? And I'm not, by the way, to all these other groups of people, I'm not making fun of you. I understand Western hegemony, white hegemony, and what that meant, colonialism and what that meant. I'm saying black women talk about all these other groups like their men got it together, and black men are these dusty losers. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Stop talking. Anybody, India, what's the wealth and poverty rate in India? The Gini coefficient, right? The difference between the well-off Indians and the super poverty, untouchable Dravidians at the very bottom. Black women just don't know. Apparently, black women ain't never watched Slumdog Millionaire. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Hey, I'm Whoops is Argentina. Argentina is full of white Latinos with no money. That practice colorism to like a military level, right? Exactly. Pablo Escobar said huge. Exactly. I know they don't know what they're talking about. When black women, it's a handful of like Susan Rice black women that actually know what they're talking about when they start talking about international politics, right? There's a handful of them. Condoleezza Rice ass black women. I'm not even going to mention Kamala Harris. Stop. There's a handful of them. But all the rest, they just compare black men to these non-black men, and they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't. Right? These other men build for their women, and then shut up. I promise you, if I dropped you in India right now, you would not be talking. When I brought you back, you would not be talking. Why would I bring you back? When I brought you back, you would not be talking. Stop talking. If I dropped you in Mexico, not Guadalajara, not Mexico City, if I dropped you into Mexico right now, you would not be talking when I brought you back. Stop talking. Y'all don't know what y'all saying. Y'all don't. These other people build for their women. If I dropped you in Eastern Europe right now, you would not be talking. I'm not even talking about Ukraine. If I dropped you in certain parts of Romania or Latvia or whatever the hell, right? Promise you, you wouldn't be. If I dropped you in Georgia right now, not the state, the country, right? They just be talking. Yeah, they just be talking. We can't. Yeah. These other men built for their women. Why are black women always told to settle? These other women aren't told to settle. You know what they're told? To get married. Ooh. Are black women told to get married? Uh-oh. Or did your foremothers raise you to practice negative liberty to spite their ex-husbands? Ooh, Z. Did your mothers and grandmothers raise you to go to college, go to school so you won't need no man? So a man could be a luxury, which, okay, fine. And you still ain't never get married. And now you're talking about what white women have. You know what white women have? 2 husbands. You know what Latina women have? Husbands. Huh? You know what Asian women have? Husbands. Latina women are taking all of your men. Latina women said we're equal opportunity. We'll take the white man and the black man. Eating breakfast with my lady yesterday. You guess what? Latina woman with an Asian dude. Latina women said we'll take all of them. Huh? You know what Latina women aren't doing, dear black women? Talking about struggle love. Ooh. Defecating on blue collar men. Ooh. Huh? That part. Now that doesn't mean Latinas don't like nice stuff too. Of course they do. Women do. People do. But defecating, especially, when you start getting outside of like the more white Latinos, once you start coming down a little bit to some of the more mestizo or mulatto Latinos, or definitely the more indigenous looking Latinas, oh yeah, it's a different day. And they said they're coming for all your men. What America said, send me, you're hungry, you're poor. Latinas are like, yeah, me too. That's our motto. We got them. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. While Chrissy and Kim Foster and them and Yanni and them and Paris and them talking crap. All right. That's good for y'all. Y'all make good YouTube money. Y'all'll be all right. What about all of your subscribers though? Oops. Huh? And Dre, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. Right. And Dre also says, I had to spoon feed some RP stuff to my family. I bet you did. I bet you did. I don't really have to do that with my family per se, because everybody gets it. Like, not my brother-in-law, not my my ex-brother-in-law, not my, remember, I have a brother-in-law and an ex-brother-in-law. Not neither one of them, not my older sister, not my younger sister, not really too many. I don't really have to, not even my mom. I don't have to spoon feed RP stuff to mom. She gets it. Girl cousins, a couple of them, yes. A couple of them, yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Jake, this is funny. And Jake says, Andre's Colombian wife, and Andrea is an accountant. She adds value to his life. These women are going to college and acting like their degrees are toys. I'm not sharing my toy with you. Yeah, well, then be single. Be single, being the voyeur for white folks while watching them have sex, hoping you were Miss White woman. And that's all it is for a lot of professional petite bourgeoisie black women, right? The white collar professional managerial class petite bourgeoisie black women are voyeurs for white folks. They're envious of white women, and they're like figuratively, maybe, possibly, I wouldn't be surprised, sometimes literally, but definitely figuratively watching white people have sex, wishing they were Miss White Woman, and then talking about us and patriarchy and wanting to be the white patriarchs. No, you want black men to be white patriarchs. I said it to FD. I meant it when I said it. You wish, dear black women, especially petite bourgeoisie black women, you wish white black men were the ones that went around the planet, raped, pillaged, conquered, to put black women where about 20% of white women are. That's your wish. And Dre says, man, it's like I want to help, but my words fall on deaf ears for the most part. Bruh, listen. You're Jamaican. You already know y'all saying whosoever don't hear will feel. I love that quote from Jamaicans. I love that shit. But yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Whoever don't hear will feel. Hey, bro, if you try to help your family, the women in your family, and you give them little words of wisdom, little things to look out for, maybe something that they might be doing that's a turn off to men, and you're their cousin, you're their male cousin, and you want to look out for them and see them win, and they're not trying to hear it, then so be it. Right? Oh, it's who don't learn must feel. I love it. But I've heard the other one too. I've heard this too. I've heard this too. But I've heard the whoever whosoever don't hear will feel, or something like that. I heard that one too. But I've heard what you just said too. There go another one. Who not go hear or go feel? I love it. Hey, Jamaica's got some sayings for y'all ass. And see, D said, leave them alone. You will waste your time. I'm telling you, you know, I haven't necessarily found myself in that position with girl cousins. First of all, my sister's married. Let me see, she's married. Her in a relationship. Yeah, pretty much my girl cousins are pretty straight. The first gens, I mean, like my mom or my dad. Yeah, she was married. She's divorced. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so I get it, Dre. I get the frustration. I definitely understand. I could definitely understand because for me, it's not girl cousins. It's not relatives. It's homegirls. And I had to come to the realization of what I'm telling you right now. Homegirls that I went to high school with, a couple that are not, yeah, a couple that I went to college with when I was going to school, and yeah, and it's two in particular. One of them is actually in a situationship right now, but well, actually the other one is too. But is that going to matriculate? Maybe, maybe not. But she has some really weird ideas about marriage and relationship, and excuse me, black men needing to be ballers. And I'm like, well, all right, we'll see. Right. And they paint themselves into the position of being unhappy. That's not men. Dear women, it is not men's fault. Dear black women, it is not black men's fault that you have insane expectations and unrealistic world. You have an unrealistic worldview. It's not black men's fault. You don't say, hey, by the way, I'm going to be delusional, but it's now your job to live up to my delusion. Right? And that's what a lot of black women are engaging in. I'm going to be delusional, and F you for telling me I'm delusional, and it's your job to live up to my delusion. Or I'll just go get me a white man. Well, go get you a white man then. Have fun with that. Right? Have fun with that. And I am Whoop says, Z, here's my quote. One woman's dust is another woman's diamond. I like it. Put it in the book. Right. On that note, y'all, look, Mr. Z got look at 2 hours. God damn. Okay. On that note, everyone, Mr. Z got a life to go live. Right. I'm like sitting in front of the place that I need to go run my errand at. So y'all, like, share, subscribe. Thank you, button for the replay squad. Um, thank y'all for listening in this morning. By the way, Pablo Frescobar, I'm going to check out. I already checked it out. I'm gonna probably do a live stream about what you said. Maybe probably tomorrow. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. Sarge, don't overextend yourself trying to wake white people up, bro. You know, you're older than me. You definitely one of the founding members of the Black Manosphere. You go back to 1.0, definitely. Um, you know, but you know, as a brother, you're junior, younger than you. Um, I still give you these words of wisdom, brother. Don't overextend yourself on that. I get it. I get it, and I understand, and I somewhat agree. But to be honest with you, if these people are not, yeah, if they can't understand where they fit in their own history and how they're being screwed by the white elites, right? And how it would behoove them to align with working class black men in a way that's beneficial for all of us, then so be it, right? So be it. And let them wither on the vine. And then black men, if we can, if it's possible, we carve out deals that's beneficial for us, like how black women have been doing, right? But you know, outside of that, unfortunately for white dudes, they just can't get. They're so stuck on the race thing, and that's because they need that for their own ego and pride. They look. I've said it before. The white guys need to know because they're white, and if they got two nickels to rub together, even if they don't, they can travel overseas and pipe any type of woman because they're white. I said it. It's not because of their looks. It's not because of their talent. It's not because of their charisma. Just because they're white and they have the same look as the men that are currently running this planet. White men want that, so they will not give up the race part. They want that. They want to be able to walk in a room and be the quote unquote kings of that room simply because they're white. Not because they've earned that, but because they're white. They want it. They want to keep that. So in order to understand their position in this society and on this planet and in the Western world and Western hemisphere, they would have to give that up. Working class white dudes, working poor white dudes, lower middle class white dudes would have to give that up. They would have to give up their concepts of whiteness and what it means, so that they can then align with working class black men and Latino men, namely black men, and they just won't. And so be it. Then die on your whiteness. Die on that sword then. So be it. I get the frustration, Sarge, but nope. Oh well. That's where I am with it with white dudes. Screw it. Struggle in the Midwest, diet off of opioids, struggle trying to keep up with the Joneses, get murdered in divorce court, fine. Have your kids taken away from you, have your son be raised to be LGBTQ. I said it the way I meant it. Have your daughter put the middle finger up to men, cursing you out. Trust me, black men know all about this. Yeah, right. So if white men want to go through it, then let them go through it. So what? Brothers like us try to warn them. We try to tell them, hey, this is bigger than your little skin color. They're not trying to hear it. So when you say class above race, no, Sarge, clearly not. Clearly not. So let the white guys feel this. The undead chronics and whatnot, let them feel this. Them little racist trolls, let them feel it. Right? Your forefathers sold everybody out, not black men. Your forefathers. We black people have a handful, a relative super small handful of black people that were even allowed to be in that position to sell black people out, black men out. It's mainly is black women and a handful of black men, right? What's his face out of the Carolinas? The Congress member. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Brown. What is his name? It's right there. His face is right there. Jesus Christ. Somebody gotta say his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Mr. Z, I'm gonna need you to get better on these names. You be making good points, and then you just can't get the name out. Anyway, yeah, I want to say Clarence Thomas, but is it? No, that's not Clarence. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But it's not Clarence Thomas. It's Brown. Clarence Thomas is the damn Supreme Court. Anyway, homeboy out of the Carolinas, the one that sold the election out. Anyway, yeah. So people like that are who sell black men out and black people out. It's only a relative handful, but the white guys have a lot of white elites that sell them out, and so be it. And let them deal with it, right? And once again, Dre, thank you for the super chat. Let them deal with what they got to go through, right? So, yeah, I get it. Give me a second, yo. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Jim Clyburn, Jesus Christ, got it. There we go. That's who I was talking about, Jim Clyburn. All right, yeah. Yeah, see, Vash put it just now. Yeah, Clyburn was who I was talking about. Thank you, Vash. Beat you to the punch by like half a second. But yeah. People like that be selling black people out. Every once in a while, Barack Obama. Ooh, I said it. Yeah, I did. But yeah. So on that note, I understand. Thank you, Hitflix. James E. Clyburn. And I've said this man's name like how many times, and when it's needed in a moment like this, I can't get it out. Oh, wait, it happens like that sometimes. But yeah, so I get the frustration, Sarge Willie Pete. So we're done with that one. And Conscious Leech, bruh, stop, bro. Stop. Clearly the women don't believe you. They like you placating. That's a nice job you're doing over there, right? That's nice. But stop, bro. Stop. And on that note, everyone, we will pause right here for real. That's 2 minutes and 7. That's 2 hours and 7 minutes. Jeez. We will pause right there for real. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I think Roger's streaming right now. So y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Thank you. And another Dre says the entire Black Caucus are sellouts. All of them need to go out of here. Gone. What did Maxine Waters tell them? Y'all selling out for cheap. At least sell out for higher to a higher bidder, something like that. I think Maxine Waters told the rest of the CBC. For real. All right. On that note, y'all, she's right. By the way, they don't even sell us out for like to the highest bidder. They sell us out for cheap. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Go check out other Black Manosphere content for the love of God. Go read something so y'all don't sound like Tanya TKO and consciously Jesus Christ. Yawn. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day.